welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we are diving into a seriously gripping historical account. We're looking at a defining moment that just perfectly captures the idea of absolute accountability. We're going to unpack a specific, documented event from the era of Caliph Umar Farooq, and we'll see exactly how a single incident of injustice was systematically handled. By breaking down the facts of this case, we get to see the actual foundation of a fair society being laid out in real time. It's basically a masterclass in governance, and it shows us exactly what happens when an administration treats its citizens not just as subjects, but as total equals under the law. So, did you know a caliph once refused to spare even his own governor's son just to bring justice to a common man? It's a pretty striking premise, right? We talk a lot about the theory of accountability today, but this event gives us a concrete, historical blueprint of that concept in action. This isn't just some old story about a ruler. It is a meticulously documented case study of what happens when the absolute highest power in the land decides that the law truly applies to everyone. No asterisks, no exceptions. It really challenges us to look closely at the mechanics of real justice. Okay, let's dive into this. Section 1, the incident's beginning and an abuse of power in Egypt. To set the scene, this all goes down in Egypt during the era of Caliph Umar Farooq. We see a severe abuse of power happen when a young man physically assaults a commoner. But here's the catch. This attacker is shielded by an immense amount of privilege because he happens to be the son of the governor of Egypt. As he's unjustly beating this commoner, his motivation is perfectly captured in his chilling declaration. He literally says, "I am the son of a respectable man." He justifies his violence entirely through his lineage. He's not relying on any law or any actual provocation for that matter. His whole defense is just weaponizing his father's status. It is the absolute core conflict of unchecked privilege clashing with the fundamental rights of a regular citizen. Which brings us to Section 2, the journey to Medina, seeking ultimate justice. Let's move to and see how this builds, because the oppressed man absolutely refuses to accept this cruelty. He actually undertakes an arduous 800-mile journey from Egypt, straight across the blistering desert, all the way to the capital in Medina. Traveling that distance in the 7th century on foot or by camel, that represents pure desperation, sure, but more importantly, it shows an unwavering determination and a deep-seated trust that if he bypasses the compromised local authorities, the top level of leadership will actually listen to him. And the moment he arrives, the machinery of justice just goes straight to work. First, his complaint is officially heard. Second, Caliph Umar Farooq orders an immediate investigation to verify the facts. And third, and this is where the accountability really kicks in, he summons both the offending young man and the governor of Egypt himself, Amr ibn al-As. The state pulls its highest-ranking official from his post to answer for what happened under his roof. Moving right along to Section 3, the historic verdict, retaliation, and reprimand. So, with all parties finally present in Medina, the investigation wraps up. The commoner's claims are entirely validated, and the caliph delivers a historic verdict. He actually empowers the victim to retaliate, perfectly mirroring the crime and completely stripping away the governor's protective status. The scales of justice are forcefully rebalanced right then and there. Following this, the caliph delivers a reprimand that literally echoes through history. He looks right at the powerful perpetrators and asks, "Since when have you enslaved people when their mothers gave birth to them free?" Now, what's really interesting about this is its profound implication on human rights. This wasn't just a scolding, it was a massive declaration that freedom and dignity are inherent human birthrights, totally untouched by whatever social hierarchies we try to construct. That takes us to Section 4, the lesson of equality and the universal application of law. And this brilliantly illustrates the absolute impartiality of the law in Islam. This decision established a huge precedent for the universal application of the law. Notice how status, wealth, and powerful family ties, they are completely stripped of their power here. They grant absolutely no one the right to commit cruelty, and they offer zero protection from the consequences of your actions. In this system, the only thing that actually matters is that the law is strictly equal for everyone. By drawing this hard line, they built a formidable, impenetrable firewall against corruption and elitism. It basically dictates that the law views every single individual through the exact same lens. Finally, we reach Section 5, Foundation of a Peaceful Society, and the Enduring Legacy. It was precisely this uncompromising, absolute brand of justice that made the early Islamic State a shining example for the entire world. Think about it. When the public knows that a governor's son will face the exact same consequences as a commoner, it breeds an incredibly deep societal trust. It transforms the state from merely a ruling body into a true moral authority. So the crucial point is found in these core lessons. First, justice is what makes a state a global example. It's the ultimate metric of a society's worth. Second, equality under the law is completely non-negotiable. You simply cannot have exceptions for the elite. And third, justice isn't just some lofty ideal. It is the practical, core foundation required to build a strong, peaceful society. Without it, you get instability. With it, you get enduring strength. As we wrap up this explainer today, I really want to leave you with a final thought-provoking question. 1,400 years later, how do modern societies measure up to this standard of absolute justice? When we look at our own systems of accountability today, do we see that same refusal to let status or wealth shield individuals from the law? It's a really fascinating lens through which to view modern governance. I hope mapping out this historical event gave you a clear, structured understanding of what uncompromising justice actually looks like. Thank you so much for joining me. Keep learning, keep analyzing, and I will see you in the next explainer.